Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer, and this is the Salt Supply Company S2 Less Lethal Launcher. So, also the holster from Salt Supply Company. I think they got a newer version than this out now, but this one fits really well. Locks it in there pretty securely, but really easy to get out. So, you know, it's got that going for it. So, very reliable launcher for less lethal. It's only 20 joules, so it's not got a ton of knockdown power. I typically use chemical rounds. It's perfect for chemical rounds. 20 is strong enough to where you know it's going to bust when it hits something, but you're not worrying about it busting in the barrel. And again, these things are really reliable. I've only had 2 issues with mine. One, the little spring that ejects the magazine got a little bit deformed. That's actually what we're going to fix today. Now, I got tired of messing with it, so I took,
hey guy, I grabbed this guy here and said, hey, let me help.
And I went, and pulled that puppy on out. But we're going to open it up to put a new one in. So anyway, other problem, the caps can leak. And they were nice enough to send me a couple of springs and a couple of caps. But I ended up still having to put a new O-ring on the caps. Once I put new O-rings, they've been fine, but they did, even the new ones were leaking a little bit till I changed out the O-rings. So hopefully they'll upgrade the O-rings that they use on these. But anyway, so far so good with that. I had an older one leak like at this set screw, but so far that's only happened to one of the older ones, and the rest of them have just needed the O-ring, the main O-ring around it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and put us a new spring in there. So first things first, we got to take it apart. If you work on a lot of this stuff, especially the Umarex stuff where it's got all these little screws, it is worth its weight in gold to get you one of these with the little screwdriver on there. Alright, so make sure all those are loose. And we're just going to separate the halves. And it looks like it's wanting to stick in this side, so we'll take this one off. All right. So here are the springs. So they're kind of an odd little spring. Anyway, and all it does, there is just a little nipple right there. Whoopsie. Little nipple right there that you just press that onto. And, whoops, I believe both sides are the same. Well, there we go. And, you know, that's a awfully long spring. I see why they get deformed so easily. I mean, you know, it's definitely going to be tricky. Trying to remember where that came from. Right there. So there's a little spring right there. You have to make sure to get this under. That's what pushes it, whoops, that's what pushes it down into the safety. Okay, so it should be like that and sitting in that groove of the safety. Okay. We're going to line the safety up with that hole. And just put everything back. And then pray for the best. Now, before I get too ahead of myself, check and make sure that works. Now your your magazine release is going to be pressed in. But once we put the mag in, perfect. That pops it back out and we're good to go. So now it's just a matter of putting the screws back in. Alright, do you guys need to watch me put the rest of the screws back in? Nope, probably not. So anyway, can't even pick them up, let alone put them in. Getting old. Alright, so I saved you guys from having to listen to the screwdriver, but all the screws are now tight, and obviously we're going to check again. Works like a charm. You can see the Duke Extreme projectiles in there. I love those for chemical rounds. So now I'm going to show you guys how to put on a Hogue grip. So this is the 17,000. Alright, so it's the Hogue Handall 17,000. I'll put a link, but I've done that many times in other videos. But just in the last week, I've heard at least 2 people that bought one of these and thought that they were not the right size. They are, for most of any of this stuff, honestly. So just looking at my wall right now, let's see. Well, let's look. Okay, so it's definitely going to fit on this. We're gonna show you that. There's one on a TRP, okay. There's one on a FSC, okay. And hold that thought. Alright, there's one on a Glock 17 Gen 5 Humerex. There's one on a Berna SD. There's one on a Berna LE. There's another one on a FSC. What else we got here? TCRs, they fit. Intrabuster or X68s, they fit. Patrol carbines, they fit. Woo! TCP, it fits. So these are all the exact same size. Alright. So here's what you got to do. First of all, take your CO2 out and your CO2 piercer. Not in that order. Take it out of the package. Get you some standard hand sanitizer. Nothing fancy. Don't use the lotion kind. Just get a regular old hand sanitizer. We're going to make a mess. Alright. Slather that baby up. Remember, The wide part corresponds to the wide part, so put it on right. All right. What you're going to be doing here, and I usually will start with the grip side where I got a little something to hold to, but start it there, kind of hold it in place with this finger, put these fingers down in there, and you're pushing against the base of it to stretch it out like that. So you're kind of having to hold this here while you stretch that on. And once you get that started, you can just kind of keep doing the same thing a little bit till enough of it gets on to where it's holding itself. The S2 is a little easier than an FSC. Just realized how annoying that box was that was sitting there making that noise. Sorry. Now pay attention to your line. You want to keep that straight with the middle of your grip, because once this sanitizer dries, it's a lot harder to reposition it. So once you get it on a good little bit there, you can just kind of work it up without stretching it anymore until that, dries out. So remember, you're supposed to be able to fit a finger in between this groove and your trigger guard. So you're going to move that up. With the Salt Supply S2, it kind of shows you exactly where to stop the way that the grip's made there. So just line it up with that line right there. Make sure that line's perfect. That line should also be perfect. Very comfortable. And you're good to go. All right. And then dry up this junk. Yeah, good times. All right, y'all, like and subscribe. Bye.